I'm your host, Victoria.
And I'm your host, Sophia.
And welcome back to another episode of the Law School Diaries. Let's explain our rules for this, okay? Our wacky schedules to try to produce this, okay? Number one, all the equipment isn't even ours. We borrow it from my brother, and he wants his camera back so bad. I told him he can't have it yet. He can't have the camera back yet. I love you, Nick. I'm so sorry.
Thanks, Nick.
We did get these microphones, though. They're ours.
We did. And it took us a while to figure out how to use them.
Sophia figured it out.
Did I?
Yeah.
I was the one?
Yes, I don't know how.
Wow, I'm surprised. Usually Vic's like the tech girl.
I edit the videos, okay? My brother taught me, but I'm not the tech girl. Sophia should be the tech girl.
You are the tech girl. She's like the Freddy. If this was iCarly, like Vic is Freddy.
Okay, I like that. I like that. It's a compliment.
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
Who doesn't love Freddy?
Love that. Then Sophia's in charge of being like the professional. Like she proofreads everything because my mind runs at a mile a minute. If you know me, I'm always like, and I try my very best, but I misspell things. I'm all over the place. So Sophia is supposed to.
And that's the extent of Sophia's duties, to be honest.
That's not true.
It kind of is.
It's just teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's true.
But anyway, today we're going to sit down with you. Sophia tried out for mock trial. I tried out for moot court. We had a midterm for evidence with different professors. And we're just going to catch you up on our life as a 2L. 2L's kicking my butt.
It has been so busy. Like,
Too busy.
so busy. It's week 10. We have, after this week, which is such a short week because we don't have one of our classes all week. 4 weeks left is like crazy.
Yeah.
Are we kidding?
That's scaring me a lot.
I'm still scared. Like, I agree. I feel like I have my wings, but I'm still trying to figure out how to like use them because like our midterm, which we'll get into it, but like I felt comfortable to study for it, but like I still felt horrible going into it, even though I knew that I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And how to take a test. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Oh, I know you know.
We wore our exam socks, even though we didn't have the exam on the same day. And I was sweating, the same feeling as in my chair. But I was sad because for 1L, all of our classes are sort of in the same room, or they were. Yeah. And so for every final, I sat in the same chair. And first semester, I switched my chair for second semester, and my grades were so much better. So I was like, I really want my chair. But now 2L, I have classes in different rooms. So now every final's in that room, and a girl was in my seat because that's where she sits for class.
So you can't tell her to move?
So, no. I literally was picturing in my mind, you know those clips in like high school movies when it's like, you're in my seat. Like, I was like, there's no shot I ever do that right now. So I just sat in the same seat on the opposite side of the room. So I don't know if I loved it, but I was comfortable there.
Hey, it's okay. Seat means nothing. It's your brain.
Yeah.
Still in there.
Well, then another girl was like, you should sit in the seat, you know, like the room, or you should sit in the seat in the class so like your brain remembers it because that's where you learned it.
I didn't sit in the same seat as I learned it.
I don't like that idea. So I was like, hey, I don't do that. Stop spreading that rumor. And she was like, well, it's different for everyone. I was like, yeah, exactly. So pick a good exam seat and switch it up if you must.
Yeah, I'm really glad midterms are over. Also, though, I actually really liked having a midterm because now I feel like I know exactly what I need to do on my final to like make sure I get an A.
And our outlines are up to date.
Up to date, which is the best part.
I struggle with doing that, like keeping them up to date because, again, it all moves so fast.
I know.
And so I don't really update it all the time. And like for finals, it's so dreadful to try to get everything over there. And sometimes it's like not how I want it. So I'm happy that one is done at least.
I know. You're
and now
so
I'll keep
right.
adding.
So right. Let's do competition teams first.
Okay.
And then we can get into all the good stuff.
So I'm going to expose myself because I just always do that. I thought mock trial was criminal law and moot court was civil court.
Come on.
Someone told me that, swear.
Actually, I remember this. I think in the summer you were like, yeah, I'm doing moot because, and I was like, Vic.
No, I was like, I'm going to do mock trial because it's criminal. And you were like, that's not what it means.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, okay, what's moot then? Sophia was like appellate. I was like, oh, okay, I want to do that.
Well, it worked out like either way. I feel like, honestly, like anything that's like trial setting, you would have.
I would have loved both, but I wanted to try something new.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first because my competition was like way before, I kind of feel like.
I feel like a month.
Yeah, it was pretty early in the semester. So you guys know this about me already. If you're new here, you're going to learn now. I never wanted to do anything courtroom, never wanted to do anything litigation. And I'm not going to say like that I do want to do it now, but I'm so much more open to doing it now than I ever was before. And it's funny because people are like, oh, like what experience did you have that made you want to do that? Nothing. I actually worked in corporate law, and it's not because I hated that. I actually loved it, and it solidified the idea that I want to end up in-house at some point in my career, preferably soon. But I'm open to doing litigation now, and my job next summer will be massively litigation focused. And so I'm like, you know what better way to do it than try out for mock and like see if like I can get like my feet wet a little bit. And the reason I didn't try out for moot or do any of the journals is because journals were due in Italy.
We couldn't do it.
There was no way.
We were texting each other.
I tried. I opened it up and I was in Italy and like, look, every law student, like
she was getting her ring. She wasn't researching on vacation.
Yeah, it was just not going to happen. So anyway, I left that one behind me very quickly. And then moot was kind of a similar process because I was in my internship in the summer. I was commuting so much this summer, like even like within Connecticut, it was just such long days, and I ended up not doing moot either. So I tried out for mock trial, and basically the tryout, it was a lot I feel like a lot quicker and a lot smaller preparation than I think Vic had to do for moot. I think it
was really rushed.
It was very rushed. I also, since I didn't know prior that I wanted to ever do mock, I like never went to any information meetings. I never did anything until it was like, hey, sign up for mock. And then I was like, oh, I guess like I'm just going to do this. And so, like I said, it was very different for me. I never did mock like in high school, like whatever. The experience was amazing. I'm not on the mock trial team, but the experience of the entire thing was honestly a lot of fun.
Still learn through the process.
Oh my God, so much. Like there was things that I would have never known. And I loved watching students who were seasoned in like the mock trial setting do it, because it also taught me like just watching people. And I don't know, I'm still very excited to give litigation a try this summer and like, you know, continue through.
And I was Sophia's witness.
Vic was my witness. I forgot about that. Vic was my witness. Yeah, it was actually really silly. Like imagine your best friend on the stand. Overall, it was a great experience and I'm really glad that I did it.
Yay.
Buddy, talk about moot.
Okay, so as Sophia said, the journal thing came out in the summer and we were both just like, no. I worked 2 jobs in the summer, commuting from down the shore back to north, and I'm like, no. There's just no way I could get it done. I did sign up for it and like I tried to read the prompt and I was like, there's just no way I can get that done. So then we get the email that moot court applications are out. So I just signed up for everything. We just signed up for everything, I feel like. And so I sign up and I'm like, all right, I think it came out July 1st or something.
It did.
And so I'm like, awesome. Downloaded everything, set up my Google Doc, and then like the prompt was coming out the next Monday. So I had all the instructions ready, and it comes out Monday. Again, 2 jobs, running around with the chicken with their head cut off. So I never looked at it. Then I get an email, reminder, it's due tomorrow. And I'm like, OMG, I didn't do it. And that, I think it was August 1st it was due. It was like a month to write it. I believe it was August 1st. And that was the day my internship for the summer just ended. So I was like, all right, I have 12 hours to write it. Let's see if we can submit it. And if I don't make it, if I don't get picked, it's fine. But like, I'll just try to write it. So I wrote, I think it was 18-page appellate brief in 12 hours, exactly. And my Duolingo streak was going off because it was going to be midnight. And it was like, hey, you didn't do your lesson yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't lose my Duolingo streak, but I have to submit my paper. Like what am I going to do? So I think I literally submitted it at like 11:48, like specifically. And then I did my Duolingo, both submitted by midnight. It was a fabulous night. Then I didn't think anything of it. I was like, honestly, I don't think it's that good. I just didn't know. It was rushed. I researched all day and then had to write it. And it was like everything was mumble jumbled together in my brain. So I didn't think it was that good, right? Then I kind of forgot about it. Then we get back to school and I don't think we heard anything. You had your whole trial and everything.
Yeah.
Then I get an email, hey, oral arguments are going to be da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh my gosh. What do you mean? I had no time to even look at anything. I'd never looked at the cases again. People were texting me, oh, do you want to practice together? Because, like, you should practice mooting. You shouldn't do what I did because then I think you'll do better. But I didn't really practice anything. Looked at the cases, like, the week before. I got all of it down. And then, 2 days before, I was just practicing. Read it all over, recorded myself a million times. And then I went in the first day, and I was just like, oh, I I kind of could do this. I'm not that scared. I loved the 1L oral argument, so I was really excited, but I was nervous because I felt everyone else prepared more.
Yeah.
But I really did everything I could with the time I had in my
Yeah.
schedule, so I wasn't like upset with myself, but I was like, okay, I can do it. And of course, you get some feedback, and my feedback from the first day I had good and interesting feedback. So then I went into the second day a little nervous because I also wanted to like be like, this is me and like prove them wrong. But then I also was like, oh, like, am I not doing it good enough? And so I think my biggest takeaway from that is like, just be you. Don't try. Like, people are going to criticize you. People are going to love you. And it's just like, you can't please everyone. So just please yourself. Be who you want. And then you'll fall into place. So
I love that.
So it was just me the second time. And then I was like, okay, it's over with. And I was so excited because during the process of like the the oral argument process, I found out that the paper fills our requirement for a graduation requirement. And then the competition also gives us a class credit. So I was like, oh, I'm done, got my class credit, it's good, everything's dandy. And then I got a phone call, like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, I want to go to New Jersey, why? And they were like, you made it to semifinals. And I was like, yay! But also I was like, oh, I gotta practice again. So instead of going to New Jersey with my family, which obviously this was important and I shouldn't have, but I stayed, I competed again. That night was crazy because the first 2 days I argued for the defense and then the US, and then the second day semifinal, the third day for semifinals, we had to do both back to back. And so that was a little tricky for me just because I didn't have them all memorized as much as I wanted to already. So then switching back and forth, I was getting a little bit like, because everyone liked the defense side, right? I liked the U.S. side. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And so I had that better, and that's what my brief was about. But then I memorized the defense one more because that's who I did first.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to go back and forth. And then I feel like I was like, well, maybe I do like the defense side. So I feel like when you're arguing, even if you don't really agree with it, you have to believe that you do.
Yeah.
And I think doing both sides is really hard to like make yourself believe it. Because then I'm like, well, I loved my other argument and I believe what I said there. So now I don't want to say this for this side. But it was a really, I want to say, creative experience.
Yeah.
Because you really have full range of like creative control of like, these are the cases I think are the most important. This is the point I really want to make. And you get to lay out your argument however you want. And when you go against different people, you see how they laid out their argument.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, that's cool how they did it that way. You're like, oh, I like my way, you know? So I think just putting yourself out there and trying something new is always so cool.
So important.
Yeah.
And I love that you say that because I think in law school it's so interesting. Even 1L oral argument was like, we all read the same cases and we're all preparing for the same issue, but like listening to how other people are posing it is like just so interesting because you want to think there's not a lot of ways to think about one thing, and then you like hear a group of people talking about it and you're like, wait a minute, like I didn't even think about that, or whatever the situation is. So I think that that's really awesome.
Yeah, and then the judges are throwing questions at you like, well, what about this? And what did the court say here? And you have to like know it off the top of your head and really like answer it, but not too fast. Like they always say, like, take a breath. Like a pause is honestly good. It shows that you're ready to like talk about what you're going to talk about. If you see me, I don't pause often, so that's something I have to work on. But pausing, answering the question, and also their questions show you what they're taking away from your points.
Yeah.
So then it can kind of lead you to how you want to address the next point, because the way you think, and I think we said this in the oral argument episode, the way you think doesn't always make sense to who you're talking to.
Absolutely.
So you have to like deliver it to who you're talking to, you know, win.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I think it's really awesome that like we both had the two different experiences. Mm-hmm. And I think like my big point with all of this, and like you said it before, like be yourself, step outside your comfort zone to like try different things you might not know if you like. Also, like on the same front of us not doing a journal, to be honest, I was never super into the thought of doing a journal.
Me neither.
And so I feel like if I was really motivated to be in a journal, that would have been a little bit different. I probably would have made the time, even though I was in Italy, to do it. But in law school, I feel like we walked in and everyone's like, this is what you're supposed to do and this is how you look the best. And like, my journey has not looked like that at all. Like I have not had a lot of the experiences some of my colleagues have, and we're all in similar places. And even like in other ways, like maybe I haven't had these experiences that I should have had or whatever the situation is, but I'm so like adamant about not doing something that just doesn't fuel you. Because why, like these 3 years are so short. And if you're doing something as like a resume builder or just because you feel like you have to, or like that on paper, you'll look the best.
Don't do it.
It's so not. It's just so not.
I love that you say that too, because like my dad said, when he saw, because, you know, I post everything in the world, he saw Sophia tried out for mock trial. He's like, well, why didn't you try out? I said, oh, I was her witness. And he was like, cute, haha. But he was like, you love that. Like, why didn't you? I said, oh, well, I'm trying this instead. And he was like, oh, okay, good. And so I think it's also important not to follow your friends. So maybe you don't know what you want to do and you don't want to go with the flow. Just like us, we never go with the flow. Never. But if you don't know what you want to do, don't always go the same route as your friends, because Sophia and I still hang out. We're still best friends, but we do completely different things. So different. And then we get to compare, and I'm like, well, maybe I want to try that. Or maybe, oh, I would never do that. And same with you. So I think it's really important to not go with the flow, but also don't just do with what your friends do or tell you.
Yeah, that's actually so funny because Vic was posting, I think she posted her moot thing on Facebook, and my mom screenshot it and goes, honey, why didn't you do this? I said, Mom, I just tried out for a different competition team. Give me a second to breathe. Like, whoa. Oh,
I also wish I got to do both, because I know a lot of people did both.
Yeah.
And I would love to do both. There wasn't enough time.
There's no time. I forgot to, like, this summer, like, aside from like my job, like my cousin, who was like my sister, got married, and I was the maid of honor. And my cousin is like total type B. Diana, I love you. And like, I felt like my summer was very hectic. Just like my cousin also just had a baby, my goddaughter, like everything was just happening so quickly. And
princess?
My princess. Our princess.
Our princess.
No, but yeah, like, I don't know. There's some things in life that are just physically not worth you setting aside because there's a deadline, and I will never let that go. Like, that's the one thing I promised myself. Like, work, school, nothing can come before what truly like drives you, makes you happy, your family, life, the important things. And yeah.
I saw a TikTok recently that was like, we don't have 3 Thanksgivings, because you always go home for Thanksgiving, but then you have to go back for finals. Yeah. A lot of people don't have the luxury where they can go back. Some people can't go back. So you miss 3 Thanksgivings with your family. And the girl who made the TikTok was asking her professor, like, why don't we just have finals like before Thanksgiving or something? I forget what she said. And the professor was like, I never thought of it that way. Because it's really important, like 3 years or 3 Thanksgivings, 3 Christmases is like, sometimes it's your grandpa's last one, and like, what are you going to miss that? I don't know. That makes me feel like icky, but also it's like, you got to do what you got to do to get through it. Yeah. And like,
there's a lot of give and take here. There's a lot of give and take in law school. And if you're so tunnel vision, like if you blink too fast, it'll all go by. And like, I feel like we've gotten a lot better at balancing that. What do we let go for the sacrifice, or what do we not?
Yeah.
You know?
I think as 1Ls, we didn't let anything really go.
No.
We were like, we don't know what to do. We're just gonna do everything we can, and we're at school, and school is life, and that's all we do. But I mean, here and there when we found time to breathe, we did.
Of course.
You know, whatever. But now I'm realizing, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, you're gonna be fine. You have the time. You got through it once before. You're gonna get through it again. Like, go spend time with your family.
Yeah.
And 2L has really taken a toll on me. I don't know what it is. If it was like I moved home for the summer and I don't want to like leave again. Because also for undergrad, I left. So I haven't been home in years. And it's just like, I just want to be home kind of thing. Yeah. But it's like, I love where I am, and like, I feel like this is where we're supposed to be for right now. And so it's really hard to navigate life because I don't want to miss everything there anymore. I'm sick of it. I miss everything all of the time because I was away for school and now here. And so this weekend, there was an event on the main campus, and I'm the executive chair of Human Trafficking Prevention Project. So this wasn't an event I made. It was the main campus reached out to us and was like, we'll give you a table if you want to come. And it was like a fair for the undergrad. So of course I signed up and said yes because, yeah. And so the whole clubby board was going. It was a Saturday. We were all going to go. It was fine. And then my parents reached out to me and they're like, you know, you don't see him yourself. Like, why don't you come home? And like, they surprised me with Stevie Nicks tickets, and I love Stevie Nicks. And I was like, I don't know. Like, and then I was like, why would I miss that to go stand at a table for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And like no one needed me there. If someone needed me, then of course, like, or if no one else was going and I committed to it, of course I wouldn't miss it. But it was like I had the space to be like, guys, I can't make it anymore. Like, please just let me go. And I think it was so worth it. I feel like myself again today. I just got back. Sometimes you just need to step away from it all.
Absolutely.
I didn't touch my laptop all weekend. And then Monday morning, I just grinded it all out, and I'm so ahead right now. I feel very good about myself right now. And so I feel like I needed it.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's very important. It's always like making sure. And I think in the beginning, it's very hard to not compare yourself to what other people around you are doing. But I realized so quickly, like, I'm sticking to my guns. It has done me well up until this point, and I intend on continuing to do what I've done. And if that's the case, like, the rest should work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. So what's something different you do this semester for like your notes and stuff?
It's not a difference between last semester and this semester. It was a difference between fall 1L. So in fall 1L, I like took notes of everything I read. Like, if we were assigned page 1 through 10, I took notes from page 1 through 10, like everything. And then while I was in class, I sat and like I would type in between the different sections that my professor would go through. And that made it really hard for me during finals, like for outlining, because I had all closed books. So I had so much information. And I think like a professor we share this semester, you can see like a lot of the times professors will assign so much more material than you're ever going to need to know for the final. And what they're talking about in class is generally like what you're going to need to know. And so now I have 2 documents. I have one document of all the notes I took on the assigned reading. And then I have another document of class notes. And I just keep them side to side during class. And I just take notes as we go. And I literally end up just using my class notes document as my piece to use for my outline, because now it's already flushed out. It's only the main pieces. And it's literally my professor's words going through it. And if I need to fill in anything that he went through quickly, I'll copy it over. But that has been so helpful for me. I feel like I just took a note on everything.
I do think our professors this year like acknowledge that we're 2Ls, and they're like, you could skim these pages but really focus on these, and like they make it a little bit easier for us. 1L, they're just like, read 60 pages. So you read every page because you don't know what they're going to go over. And then of course they don't go over every word through 60 pages. So I like now that they're like, definitely focus on this, but then skim the rest.
Yeah.
So then you know what you want to type and really focus on, but then the other just makes it all go together.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy. I can't believe that we survived it. I mean, obviously I believe it.
No, yeah.
But
and also like went away in a flash. Like it was just so quick.
I don't remember it.
No.
I just remember us like being silly.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we did it.
I know. I will say too, though, 2L, a big difference that I've realized, and like my fiance like always says, 1L was really tough because when I was like doing work, I was doing work, and that was that. Like any free time I had outside of being in the classroom was dedicated to work. But now it's like I have more time outside of school and reading, but less time for life, because when I'm not in class or not reading for class, I have my job or I have this club that I'm like, there's just so many things going on that I feel like I actually do have less time in 2L than I did have in 1L. Because in 1L, like when my readings were done and and I wasn't in class, like I didn't have anything to do. And it was besides when I worked on the weekends, but that doesn't count. Like
it definitely counts, but I know what
you know what I mean? Like outside of those things, like I had like, that was it. Like that was my life. And now it's just absolutely not like that.
I normally don't regret anything I do, but I do regret how much I signed myself up for this year.
Oh my God. If I could go back.
I just, like, I love everything that I'm doing. That's why it's so hard, because I do like to, like, try everything. And then I tried it all last year, and now I'm on the e-board for a lot of different clubs. I teach Pilates. We did an externship, plus school. It's just now moot. It's a lot. And there's not enough time, and I want to give my all to everything, and I do try, and I feel like I haven't really been sleeping. And maybe I shouldn't have said yes to everything, but I love the saying, say yes to everything. Like, why not? I'm only in law school for 3 years. We're almost halfway done already.
I know.
I just wanted to try everything.
No, yeah, that's a really, really hard balance to strike.
Still try everything and not hold a leadership position.
Oh my God,
I just messed up there.
That's I think I'm the same. Also, if maybe I didn't take so many leadership positions, I could have tried even more, because I could have gone to different general body meetings with a freer schedule, but I don't have that luxury.
Also, I will say, everyone's going to be shocked. I don't know if I'll bite my tongue. I don't really like the night classes. And I'm a night owl. And I was like, I'm taking night classes. I think it throws me off because we work, though. If I didn't go to work early, if I got to sleep in and then do the night classes, like I would be night owl, my brain would be going. But I got to get up really early, which is not me. Work all day. Then go to school all night. Read my books. When am I sleeping? When am I eating? My mom was so scared because she actually came here and bought the whole grocery store and brought it here and said, eat food, whatever you want, it's now here. You have no excuse. Because there's just no time. And I just saw a TikTok before you arrived. And can you tell I was on my phone all weekend? He said when you're starting to do good or like get so close to your accomplishments, like if you're going to graduate or like if you just made a new team or like when everything's going good for you, that's when you feel like it's the hardest. Because that's when the devil...
Naturally, it's so true.
This is the Halloween episode. That's when the devil tries to pull you down, you know? But it's like...
so true.
You have to fight that then and there and know, like, I'm here for a reason. Don't let it feel like it's dragging you down. Like, you accomplished that thing for a reason or you're so close to it for a reason. Like, don't stop now. Like, make it to the finish line because you're almost there.
I feel like on that same similar note, too, like, when you're in law school, especially when it comes to like work or like internship, like whatever it is, like summer externship during the semester, whatever have you, it's so easy to say yes to anything because we feel like the next opportunity isn't coming. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in that breath of like, as soon as you're getting to where you're supposed to be, that's when you feel like you're being dragged down the most. I feel that so deeply because I feel like this whole summer I was so stressed out about like my next summer. And then as soon as like I had an offer or like I was getting close to something, I'd like in my heart and my body, like soul didn't feel like that was where I was supposed to be. And honestly, I battled myself to follow that intuition. I like always know that I'm very like in tune with myself. And it was very hard for me to follow my intuition on that and like say no to an opportunity because like who am I to say no to someone who's offering me a job? But I'm so happy that I did because I was just knocking on the next door and that next door was exactly where I wanted to be. So it's like, you know, it's also okay to say no because you don't know what lies like at the next yes. Like, you know, you just don't know what the next yes is going to be. It could be everything you wanted. Yeah. So it's just like so hard to keep that. 2L is just hard because everything is getting real. And
everything's on a plate. It's like a buffet, like a dessert buffet. There's cookies, cake, ice cream, brownies.
Everything you
want. And I'm like, yum. Like, I waited my whole life for this.
Like, one might look really good, but might taste really bad. Yeah. Like, there's just, like, so many things that, like, go into the transition from 1L to 2L. And it's so funny. Also, if there's any 1Ls watching this right now, I was just talking to a bunch of 1Ls the other day who were, like, in their, like, that point of the semester where they're like, why did I do this to myself? And I think it's really like just a good time to plug this in. I remember that feeling in fall 1L where I was like, I could have been working. I could have still had my full-time job and been so much happier and had money in my pocket and like not been going through this. It's so worth it. Like you guys are almost there. You're so close. Like you're so close. It's going to be okay.
And I feel like we're complaining, not really complaining, but we're expressing our scared feelings of like how overwhelmed we are, but I really wouldn't change it.
Oh, me either.
Like, I really do love my externship. I'm learning so much. I love all the clubs. I love the 1Ls who are interested in it because that was just us last year. So then I want to be like, welcome, like, come on, like, this is what we do. And then I love teaching Pilates. So important. Put your health first. Work out. I never worked out a day in my life till we came here. Love it. I love Pilates.
I love Pilates.
And now Sophia's getting certified too. And we're going to co-teach classes and be best friends together and just do everything together.
So we started this episode talking a little bit about how midterm season we just put it behind us. Me and Vic both had a midterm for evidence. And I have to say, I'm really happy that I had that midterm. I know we talked about it from like an outlining perspective, but also I never had a graded midterm yet in law school. This was my first one. And honestly, fantastic. I was really pissed off about it in the beginning. Like, I couldn't believe that I had to study for an exam, like, while I was still reading for other classes, other things were going on. But I'm really happy, like, now that it's over, because it just, like, made me kind of, like, solidify exactly, like, my study habits were still working. And I feel like evidence is a little bit harder to like explain study habits for, because especially if it's
so many
different,
rules.
like closed book, open book. Mine was closed book.
Open book,
just had
still.
to memorize every single rule that we learned. And honestly, for me, if I know the rule, I can apply it. So I didn't have to like worry too much about application. And I know, and at least in my evidence class, case law is really not that important unless it's like a case.
Mine isn't either. And you know, I love case law.
I know. There's some cases that do matter, like if it like has a test that like you take from the case, but if it's not like a case like that, it just doesn't matter. It's just showing you how the court uses the federal rule.
Multiple choice or no was normal?
I had 10 multiple choice, and I had one essay that had 4 parts, I believe, or 5 parts, something like that.
Okay. Mine was matching, true, false, hearsay, non-hearsay, and then all multiple choice. So I didn't really write anything, which I like doing better. But I've learned to like multiple choice from my Civ Pro final. So I've learned to like it. You just got to pick the best answer.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like the worst at multiple choice. Like that's why LSAT was so hard for me. But I realized I cannot get away from it and that I had to like figure it all out because the bar is also heavy multiple choice. So I have been like really trying to grind on like how to figure out multiple choice, like the game behind it. And I did very well in my multiple choice section, and I'm so happy because that is not me. Like if I get 1 of 10 right, I'm like happy. And I did really good on it, so I'm really, really happy about that.
I'm so proud of you, buddy.
I hope that multiple choice keeps treating me well.
I didn't get my grade back yet. I felt like really good about it, but then everyone after was like, that was really hard. And I do think it was tricky, but I felt like I knew it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's hard about multiple choice, though, right? Because when you see a question, you're like, oh, I know what rule this is. But then A and B and probably C too
they all have the same rule, but
right.
then it's
and like, oh, well, what's the application of it? Like, what will the court say? Like, you have to figure out like why, because of the rule, it makes most sense, like which one. So I feel like for evidence, that's why multiple choice is tricky, because also a lot of things in evidence are like court's discretion. Like if it, like if the judge thinks that it substantially outweighs, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's so hard.
Yeah. I wish you could see me during my exams, because you know how you book brief like a case book, like you highlight everything? I do that for the fact pattern. So I'm like with all my highlighters, because it's small. The prompt, I mean, it's not small. It's like a thick paragraph, but I'm going through it with all my different colors, and everyone in the class is probably like, what the heck is she doing? Because I'm like, parties, facts, procedural history, the rule, the issue, and everyone's like, my test at the end is a rainbow. The professor is probably like, was she okay during the exam? But I need it that way for my brain, because then also I feel like I usually don't like going back to check, but you have to. And so when I go to double check myself, having it highlighted doesn't make me have to reread it all again.
Yeah, you know exactly what you can follow.
I know what color is what, and so I know, and it just makes it so much better, and I can use all the time on my exam.
I'm also a highlighter. Actually, today at work, I was going through a bunch of statutes on something, and instead of like me like not highlighting sentences, I have a color highlighter for like unnecessary like jumble and like the statute. And my one of my managers like came over and he was like, is anything in that statute not important? I was like, actually yes, the purple highlights are not that important. He was like, okay. I can't really explain to you how my brain works, but that's how it does.
Same. I don't know why, but it just works, and you have to do what works for you always. So you should definitely check out teams that your school has, mock, moot, journals, any clubs, organizations. Try it all.
Do what feeds your soul.
Remember to be authentic.
Don't do it because you want to put it on your resume or you think it's cool.
Yeah. You have to like want it and love it.
You need to love it. It's going to be so miserable if you don't. So yeah, follow us on all social media so you can get updates.
Please do.
Please do.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Be safe. Be smart. Take a break.
All right. We'll see you next time
On
the Law School Diaries. Bye.